Alright.
Damn it, I always pick the wrong side. Nope, I picked the right side, finally.
So they're the one Adam handles posting. It's there. Okay, so let's talk about what we're gonna do with the video questions.
Oh, we already. Oh, yeah. So we need to talk about it with Omar. So you stay there.
Yes, I need the printed out script, so
Oh, that's right. We're supposed to print. We always print out the script. We print these 6
Yeah.
copies. Do we have
Tyler
it?
has.
So I'll be here. We do 3 segments at 8 minutes, and I give you a 2-minute warning.
okay.
Okay. So when Matt says, "Okay, we're gonna go to a video question," as soon as I see you bring it up here, I'm gonna give them a hand signal. Should I give you like a thumbs up so you know that we're on the video question?
Just give me a V. Give me a V.
I can say, because since I'm listening to it, I can just tell them when they're done talking with the question.
But if their mics are up,
Yeah.
you can hear them. We have to all be quiet.
Yeah, I'll give you hand signal.
Okay. Well, I can give it. See, I can see. Well, you're still gonna have to. So you give me the signal, and I.
Okay, then I'll let you know when the video question's over.
Okay.
We have
alright.
one in each segment, right?
I don't know. I have not read
We
this.
have 3.
Yeah, 3 total. I
Yeah.
think there should be one in each segment.
Boy, Snapchat's successful at getting those, huh?
Listen, when I thought about it, here's how the thought came to my mind, because people were, I mean, since I got on Snapchat and people are gravitating to it, now everybody just asks me questions. It's like 50 a day, and
Snapchat?
on Snapchat,
Holy shit.
and so I was just like, okay, and I was like, man, these are kind of cool, but how could I intertwine it in the show? And then I was like, okay, send me the questions. And then I realized I couldn't do anything with the questions, and they sent it to me. So then I asked you, and you're like, send to this address. And I was like, okay. Then I put up a Snapchat thing, send to this address. Then everybody complained, Snapchat thing moves too fast, we couldn't copy the address. So I said, okay, fine. I put it on Instagram, send the questions here. But I think because of Snapchat's growth, like, when did we try the video questions? 2 years ago?
Yeah.
Okay, because of Snapchat's growth,
People are used to.
people are so used to it now.
Gotcha. We were ahead of the game, huh?
Yeah. So,
All right.
Do they sound different?
oh shit, I didn't brush my beard.
So yeah, that was a good job.
The problems I have.
Is it real? It's so short. How did
No,
how
it's
do you brush
kind
it?
of fluffy.
My son has
Use
a short.
oil?
I never brush it.
Huh?
Do you use oil in it?
I need to buy some because it's getting a little thick.
I use my girlfriend's. She has really nice oil for her hair, so I just use that.
Yeah. Did you get a haircut?
Yeah. I'm going all LA.
Do you know about him?
Yes, you told me.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right.
Also, once we finish here and we export it and everything, can I head home a little early today? They're coming tomorrow morning to get my car. I haven't packed anything.
Good lord, you're like leaving tomorrow?
In a week, yeah.
Damn.
No, they're picking up his car tomorrow. He flies out. So his last day is Friday.
Yeah.
Like, hold on, you just got it and you
They
got
give you 3 weeks, like it starts 3 weeks from the day they tell you.
Yeah, it's crazy. And they only let like 8 people in?
9.
9. He's one of 9 people got in this program. Well, how many people apply?
I don't know.
Hey,
I hope it's.
I don't see X's and Omars.
Probably is.
Hey,
Is it?
What are you talking about?
learner. I don't see X's and Omars on Dolphins page.
Alright, could you do that thing?
Like, that's a huge problem.
Doing too many things.
Huh?
Doing too many things.
Alright.
There's 4 people watching.
Because they have the address?
I did send it to Adam. It could just be like Major Mel and Kenneth and Adam.
Alright. Yeah, it's probably us. It's a visit cults today.
I'm sending it right now.
Whoop whoop. Pull over that. Too fat.
Now I have an excuse not to be a Dolphins fan. I can be a Rams fan.
Whatever. You know you're a Dolphins fan.
Yeah, I know.
Is Jamel here?
I haven't seen him today.
Are we not having a referee?
Hey, Adam. Is Jermel here? Okay.
Did somebody forget to tell him? We don't need any. Do you see the Sentinel mugs? Like, we're kind of running late. Superstar!
Offseason. I don't even know how to get here during this part of the year.
Huh?
How's it going?
How are you? How are the
Good.
kids?
They're good. They're good. Things are going well.
What is the poundage?
Well, they're going in for their 4-month on Thursday, so we'll get the update. But
What were
he's
they?
getting huge.
Oh,
He's
wow.
getting big.
Okay. Well,
I
that's a
mean,
good.
I don't know.
It's a good problem to have.
Fast forward it, but it's just because she's
Was she the stronger one, or was he the stronger one?
she
Was
was the
this-
one who was coming out, pushing the envelope.
Okay. She's
But
like,
he's always been a little bigger.
he's always been a little bigger, a little stronger. Thank you, sir. Scripts. I'm gonna need you to take a picture, Tyler.
Yeah, make sure you're setting up. I usually print 4 scripts. One for each of them, one for whoever the person is, and you.
Okay. Make sure you look all sexy, okay?
Yes. Oh, you look great. Blue's a good color on you.
Hold on. Making my jacket all cup up. Excellent, sir. Thank you.
I did grab the right mic, right?
Mic one? Yeah.
Great.
So these are the video questions. That's how we.
Okay.
And I guess you guys can't hear or see them.
Right.
Correct.
If you look there, they'll be playing there. But I told Cindy to just do this, and then once it's fading out back to you guys, she'll give you one of these to go.
Okay.
All right.
And I'm just gonna say, let's take our next video question.
Yeah. And then you'll know what the question is by reading it.
By looking at it. Sure.
And I'll give you a signal when we're ready to come back.
What's the signal? This?
Yeah.
The tomahawk chop?
What's the
FSU?
video? What's the video question? We are wired right now, by the way.
We are wired, up
We
and
are-
rolling.
Yes.
Good.
So they can get all in our business. Hold on, my tie. Look at me.
Yeah,
Is
looks good.
It looks kind of weird.
Let's see.
I'll time it. I'll give you a 2-minute warning.
Okay.
No, I think it's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you doing overtime?
If you'd like, your call. You're the boss. We don't have Jamel to run. I mean, nobody told him. I doubt it. Okay. Okay, that would explain it.
Yeah, I told him what we were doing.
All right. Okay. We don't have our mugs.
We're on, by the way.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Whoops. Whoops.
Yeah,
Exec.
And the cups. Where's the cups?
I didn't see. I looked, but I didn't see him.
Where's the? Oh, here they are. Wait. Tyler.
That's off season for everyone, huh?
Yes. We gotta watch these. Collecting months of dust. I'll get you another one. Yeah.
The other day we watched it.
So you do know Jamel is coming, or you don't know Jamel? Okay.
you pull over that? Too fat.
What's up, O?
How are you, sir?
Good.
We need to start take these mics off. Table. Okay. Kevin, is it up yet? Yes. Okay. Okay. Boom.
Hey, what's going on, Kevin? I'm good. How are you doing? Good to see you. Nick Foles is going to be the starter, isn't he? In St. Louis?
They're trying to trade Nick Foles. Nick Foles is trash.
Yeah.
We're launching that. All right, we'll live without him. We have 3 video questions. We'll go into the chat.
Sure.
Do you people want live? Want overtime? Yes, no, maybe so. Let me know.
We could do it no more than 10 minutes.
Sure.
Sure.
So I time you.
Rapid fire?
Rapid fire.
Hope you're doing well, Matt. Nice to see you.
I'm doing well. It's good to see you.
We got new sponsors for water.
Oh, new sponsor?
Yeah,
Wow.
we're Sever Hills now.
Oh, okay.
Cindy's washing the cups.
Where were you from?
It's some red off-brand.
Zephyr Hills. When I'm thirsty, the only water I drink is Zephyr Hills.
Want to quench your thirst? Zephyr Hill. Thank you.
When I want the very watery taste of water. Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I'm Matt.
I'm Cindy.
Cindy?
Yes.
Nice to meet you. Have we met? I don't think so.
She's been like assistance.
Behind? Okay.
Yes.
Well, Cindy, it's good to see you.
Cindy is a UF grad.
Oh.
She's a writer who also has a production background.
Oh, nice. It's
Been here for like a year, Cindy? All right.
so we're talking about the election tomorrow, right? That's what we're doing.
Absolutely. No question about it.
You talk brackets, and we're going to talk about the election.
Oh, you brackets, I'm not prepared for. I cannot handle that. I don't know anything about college basketball.
Canes, a 3 seed. Your thoughts?
Who are they playing? Buffalo?
Buffalo.
Buffalo?
Yes.
There's our referee.
Hey!
I'm trying to think, is there something that I need in here? I don't think so.
Like first, stats.
Yeah. I don't think so. I know most of stuff that's going on here. What's up? Okay, I never looked at the video questions. Oh, yeah. Duplicate question. What's about new big names is guard right now?
Hey, here's a question. Just so I know, when the video question is rolling, don't talk.
We can have sound during the video questions, right? So we shouldn't talk.
Yeah, it'd be easier if you don't.
Okay.
Mathis, Lewis,
What's your
Vasquez,
script?
Jahi Evans, and then Michael Schwartz, or what? May the Schwartz be with you.
Oh.
No. Walter. Free agent guards. Who's left out there on the streets looking for money? Jahari.
There gotta be some corners, right?
Yeah, they're gonna add corner, but
No one good.
nah, they're not. They're just okay. They're like Nolan Carroll. Not that there's anything wrong with Nolan Carroll. But
Yeah, but you don't get
you're gonna
excited
have to-
about
you're gonna
Nolan
have to
Carroll.
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
Okay, video question number 2. Video question number 3. With the Brandon Williams talk. Oh, why is it
Because they has to.
CBS. Let's do it and look primarily in the comment section. Okay, give me 1 second here. I'm not prepared. I forgot to look up which core QBs I like. Why is my phone acting up? What's up?
You say a biggest concern was 4 starters leaving, and then we mentioned Vernon.
Actually, it should be 5.
It should be 5 with Grimes, right?
Grimes,
Okay.
yes. Erica Brockhouse. Oh, what? Brockhouse. Good morning.
Oh, on that chair. That's my secret stash.
What's up, Wells?
Randomly sitting on top.
I'm good. I'm good. How you doing?
All right.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's all right.
Yeah,
Little off-season stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, man. Good to see you. How you liking the gig down here?
That's good, man. It's
Yeah?
been good so far. Yeah.
Good.
We're just getting settled in with everything. It's
Good. You go to Lakeland for all those games?
yeah.
Yeah.
What's up?
That's cool.
A lot of travel
That's good.
all over the area.
You didn't just stay up there for a week?
Nah.
Back and forth, back and forth?
Yeah.
That stinks.
Well, I didn't want to be.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess you didn't really want to be there.
That's true. That's
Fair
also
enough.
being in Lakeville too.
Fair enough.
It's like going down on 12.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
Not too bad.
Yeah.
It's busy.
Yeah.
It's like, spring training. Oh, man.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Oh, sorry, Wells.
Oh, good.
He's like, strength training, that's some boring ass shit.
Wells knows what I'm saying. When it's all I had to do is say 2 words, and then
Yep, I know.
Spring training.
training.
Boring. You know what? I actually might go to spring training.
It's not the worst thing to go to once a day, for like
yeah.
a day.
I mean, yeah. How? Where's the closest one to like?
To you?
Yeah, Miami. Who's the
Jupiter.
closest? Jupiter. Which team?
Marlins and Cardinals are both in Jupiter.
Okay. All right. And when they
We're
start
getting
playing
one in
games?
West Palm though next year. A new facility in West Palm next year.
All right. Jupiter. You know what? I might do that actually because I have my son for spring break and I know how much he loves when I force things on him.
It's a great thing to do with a kid for a day.
I saw a Instagram post where it was like a father and a son. They were out somewhere going to the beach and whatnot. I don't even know what they were doing, but they were out doing something, playing kickball. And he's like, and the post said, kids never remember how many hours they watched TV or played video games. Your memories are not. Oh man, I remember that day on March 17th where I got to level 3 on Mario Brothers. Like, you remember the things you do.
What he remembers is getting a beer dumped on him at a Dolphins game.
Pretty much.
That's what he remembers.
All right, we're rocking and rolling.
More? Tell me when.
Okay, what was going on?
We gotta go.
All right, we're ready to rock.
Hold on. Okay. You recording? Alright, I am ready when you are.
Hold on.
One last second.
You know how thirsty I am all the time.
Alrighty, guys. Ready?
Welcome to a very special off-season free agency edition of X's and Omar alongside Sun Sentinel Dolphins columnist Omar Kelly. I'm CBS 12 Sports Director Matt Lincoln. We are ready to field all of your questions after the first week of free agency, which the first few days we saw the Dolphins very, very active. Some reason.
Are they really?
Comings, there's goings. There's
Okay, the goings is not activity that you like.
Well, no, but it's active. We said active. Active is
Okay.
not negative nor positive.
It's
They've been
action.
active. There are players, different players. We will see a different team in
Without a doubt.
in 2016 for sure. Let's go over. So we'll start by talking about the long list of 5 starters who are no longer on the Miami Dolphins. Olivier Vernon signed that monstrous deal to go to the Giants. 55, what was it? 85
$85 million,
52.5 guaranteed.
something like that.
Something like that.
40 completely fully guaranteed.
Lamar Miller, starting running back, he is going to the Texans.
$6.5 million contract a year. He's got 2 years of it guaranteed. Lamar will walk away with $13 million. I only mention the guaranteed money because if you followed me for forever, you know the only real money in the NFL are the guaranteed dollars.
Right, for sure. Rashard Matthews, $5 million a year for Tennessee. Derek Shelby, $20 million total for the Falcons, and of course Brent Grimes severed ties, and he is on his way to Tampa Bay.
Dolphins tried to shake him down. Brent Grimes said, no, thank you. I will accept my contract. If not, just cut me and let me go sign elsewhere. Brent ended up with Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Okay, it's a lot of money for all those guys.
Yeah.
What did the Dolphins do wrong, if anything, with these specifically 5 guys?
I don't think the Dolphins had a good assessment on what the market was going to be at. And in terms of player value, Don and Ponte, you get an F for free agency because when you're talking about offering Olivier Vernon something in the neighborhood of $40 to $50 million of a contract, and he goes and gets 85, when you're offering Lamar Miller $4 million per year and he goes and gets 6.5, there's a huge chasm of a divide. Now, Rashard Matthews is never coming back here. Rashard was a freed slave. He's gone. He left. But you're talking about players where Olivier Vernon, Lamar Miller, you're talented players. The assessment is that you wanted to retain them, but the price point that you were at was way lower than where everybody else was at. Something's wrong there.
But would you have paid Olivier Vernon all that money?
No, but
So what did Don Aponte do wrong? What did she do wrong?
I think that you should have gone to both players before the season even began, before they even began playing and risked injury for all 16 games, and put fair, well-compensated deals on the table. If you would have offered Lamar Miller a $4 million a year contract before he played the 2015 season, he probably would have taken it. If you would have offered Olivier Vernon a $50 million contract before the offseason began, he probably would have taken it. And unfortunately, here you go. But now, in fairness to the Dolphins, the market was drastically higher than I thought it would be. But there were teams that did anticipate it. When the Philadelphia Eagles were giving out those massive deals that they were giving out this offseason, re-signing their tight end, re-signing a pass rusher, re-signing the safety. When they were giving out those deals and I looked at those numbers, I was like, what the hell are they doing? Why are they throwing money away? This must be a team trying to get to the 89% salary cap floor. And realistically, by signing all those guys, they probably saved themselves $40 million.
Incredible. Let's take our first Twitter question. It comes from Nate. You have the power to keep one Dolphins free agent this year. Money is no object. Who would you have kept of this group?
Easy decision for me, Lamar Miller, primarily because I believe in him as a playmaker. You saw what the offense did when Lamar was fed and got his 20 touches. It wasn't Lamar's problem. It was the offense. It was the offensive line. It was the play calling. I think Lamar, here's the biggest issue that you have replacing Lamar. Lamar can do it all. Run, pass catch, pass block. Those are 3 facets that are very difficult to replace. And I think that if C.J. Anderson, if you don't sign C.J. Anderson, you're probably going to have to add a Alfred Morris and a Reggie Bush, put them together to combine to make that one back that Lamar Miller is. So,
have you heard anything out of Denver whether or not they're going to equal that offer sheet?
Right now, they've got till Tuesday to match it. Because it's taken so long, I expect that they will not match. That's just my personal guess. And if you look at Denver's history, what the Broncos do is they draft running backs in the top 4 rounds. Sometimes they do it in the first round. And they pay them when they use them up, and then toss them. And I'm sorry, but C.J. Anderson is not realistically worth worth what he's being paid, $4.5 million right now. Cap numbers wise, he's the 6th highest paid back in the NFL, and for a guy who hasn't run for 1,000 yards, a little high.
He also was in a split backfield with Ronnie Hillman, so he wasn't getting all the touches. All right, well, let's take our first video question of the day.
What's going on, Omar? Question for you. Do you think that this team should start working on a contract extension with Jarvis Landry now so we're not stuck in this situation in a few years with possibly losing a talented young free agent?
Okay, so one of the issues with these guys that had left was that they waited too long to try to extend them. With a guy like Jarvis Landry, should the Dolphins be right now talking about signing him long term?
One, they cannot. You cannot sign a player to a contract extension until they've completed their 3rd year. Jarvis Landry is entering his 3rd year, so that's not even something on the table. However, you can look at it from the standpoint of other players who are entering contract years. Jelani Jenkins, you might need to start to reassess that situation.
All right, let's take our next Twitter question. Comes from Anthony. He wants to know, should we extend Jelani Jenkins, Deion Sims, as offseason, or risk them hitting free agency and losing all those guys?
Certainly, it should be a consideration. I think you probably want to see where they are in training camp and see how they perform before you can sit here and say, like, Jelani Jenkins is worth a deal like Danny Trevathan got. No, Jelani Jenkins didn't have a good season last year. Let's put him on the field again, see where he is in a money year, because players always perform at their best in a money year, and then reassess the situation. Same for Deion Sims, didn't have a good season. You need to calm down, let the player show who he is, and then assess it.
Do you feel like this management group needs to, basically a lot of these homegrown guys are just gone. They let them just walk away.
It's called graduating.
They've graduated. They've left.
That is actually a term used by the Dolphins.
Well,
They've graduated from the Dolphins.
Is it important for this management to change that perception? That if you're coming to the Dolphins, you're going to get taken care of if you deserve it.
Here's the problem that you see in this organization. They've developed players and then let them go elsewhere. You need to, when you develop a Mike Pouncey, when you develop a Rashad Jones, you need to make sure you maintain them. However, to do that, you've got to pay them. The Dolphins have generally done that. They've maintained and re-signed their own players. However, in this situation, this market, with this team, a lot of those players truthfully wanted to leave.
All right, next Twitter question comes from Andrew. Do you feel the free agent additions by the Fins are good scheme fits? Is this the organization committed to this coaching thing?
I absolutely do believe that every player that has been added has been a good scheme fit. Kiko Alonso, he's going to be in a 4-3 that Vance Joseph runs. Byron Maxwell, he's going to be in a zone coverage scheme that suits him. Press zone that suits him best. That's apparently what Vance Joseph runs. The back, as clearly, people got to understand, the back is going to be the most important ingredient to the offense, not the quarterback. Backs are going to catch 70 passes. The backs are going to be in there pass blocking because they're in a one-back set. So you got to make sure that you have the right kind of back. But yes, the skill set of the players are being the skill set is predicated on what these coaches are doing.
I'm going to be interested in talking about whether or not a lot of the players that are coming back are going to be scheme fits.
Good scheme fits,
but
yes.
We'll get to that point in a little bit. All right, let's move on. Okay, so those are lots of talented guys who have left.
The exodus.
But you know what? Some okay guys coming on in. Let's talk about some of these guys. Mario Williams, Jamon Bushrod, these guys are talented guys, have had good careers.
Some of them have been Pro Bowlers. Mario Williams, obviously, he's a little bit advanced in his age. He's in his 30s. Same with Jerome Bushrod. But both of them have been Pro Bowl players at their position. The question is age and how healthy are they? Bushrod basically only started 4 games at left tackle last year because he's got back issues and he had shoulder issues. As you age, as you know, Matt, things don't heal up the way that they used to.
No.
It takes a little while for you to recover. I'm 38 years old, and I can tell you, it ain't easy for the old guys. So that's what you're facing now. Mario Williams, is he in a prove-it season? Absolutely. Silence his critics that say he quit on his team last year. Silence the doubters that say he can't be a good, dominant 4-3 pass rusher anymore. I disagree with them. I think Mario Williams, I've seen him abuse Ryan Tannehill
Yeah.
and the Dolphins' offensive line. 8.5 sacks in his 4 years against Tannehill. That's 2 a season. That's 1 every game.
Right.
You get a player who's going to give you 1 every game, that's pretty good. And then Jerome Bushrod, while I do not support him as a guard, not at all, I think where you fell apart from an offensive standpoint last year was that third guard, Jason Fox,
Right.
was a problem. I believe 8 sacks last season. Jason Fox was a problem. Now you've added 2 guards in Jerome Bushrod, and then you've added Sam Young. 2 tackles that can help fortify that tackle position. And then maybe, hopefully, one day you can address that guard spot, and it'll be okay.
It'll happen one day.
One day. I've only been waiting for it since 2009.
All right.
One day, though. It'll happen for me one day.
Well, they did address that other safety spot. Issa Abdul-Quddus comes over from Detroit. A little bit of a surprise, kind of dropped
Under the
on
radar.
the Dolphins' lap. What kind of an addition is
he
it?
dropped under the
Well,
Dolphins' lap.
Under the radar is a better way to put it. Abdul-Quddus.
Respectable money for a decent Michael Thomas-esque player. What I like about him is he's supposedly intelligent. He's got a lot of versatility where he plays he plays strong side linebacker, plays free safety. I've watched his films. He's not a playmaker. You're not going to get a ball hawk here, but you are going to get a guy.
You don't need another one. You got
Yeah, you got
another one who that's all he does. So
Yeah.
to have just a solid guy might not be the worst thing back there.
Solid guy, and that's the problem, that you need a guy who's going to be the last line of defense, a guy who's got good range, and I do believe, I've watched his film, I think he's got good range. I think he's a good player with a lot of upside. Can I sit here and tell you unequivocally that he's better than Michael Thomas? I probably can't, but I'm interested to see where he is in his development in this defense that's going to be designed around by Vance Joseph. But good player. Interesting to see if the fit works, because I would have preferred a veteran free safety and Eric Weddle, a Reggie Nelson, who are both still out there, by the way. I would have preferred that to be with Rashad Jones, because a lot of times, a lot of things Rashad Jones does cannot be accounted for because it's not part of the defense. He sees it, he goes after it. Well, a veteran free safety is going to have to watch it, see Rashad gambling, and then adjust. And that, we'll see.
Why do you think they did not go after Well or Nelson? I think Nelson's looking for a huge payday, especially when he put that huge interception number up last year.
Well, why hasn't he gotten it? Age. And here's the thing that I've learned from people inside the organization. The Dolphins look at this as a 2 to 3 year cycle rebuilding, and if you weren't going to be part of it in 2017, there's no desire to add you in 2016. And Reggie Nelson and Eric Weddle, one, they're both looking for something completely different than what the Dolphins are. Both are shopping for rings.
Right.
Dolphins ain't getting no ring anytime soon. And, so you're going to have to overpay. And I really don't think the money and the overpaying was worth coming to this organization. So it's probably best that you sign Abdul-Quddus.
That being said, how long do you think Mario Williams is a Dolphin?
2 years.
Okay.
I think you'll get the second year, just because I believe Mario Williams, in a right scheme, in his sleep, can give you 7 sacks, and I'm not cutting him for $8 million, especially when you see where the market is going. And then also keep in mind that Cameron Wake is a free agent next offseason, and Cameron Wake has never been part of a Dolphins winning team. You think he wants to go chase a ring in the final years of his career? I say yes.
All right. Oh.
All right.
Oh, all right, we got a challenge.
Alrighty.
Hey,
Hey,
even
how's
the
it going?
off-season working hard.
I know, right? Okay, so this challenge comes from burritos for breakfast. I had
Okay.
a burrito this morning, actually. Okay, so he says Miko is man.
Oh, my.
Maxwell is trash. Mario quit on his team. Scheme. You did not get better.
So what's the question?
Well,
The challenge, I guess, is just that they're not better.
Yeah.
Okay.
I never said they got better. I heard on Steve Shapiro's show that Mike Tannenbaum told Steve Shapiro on Channel 7 that the Dolphins, 2016 Dolphins, would kick the 2015 Dolphins behind. Here, let me address this,
Yeah.
because I feel like that a flag on the play.
Right.
All year you heard from the Dolphins that we've got talent on this team. It's coaching that's the problem. There's talent here.
Yeah.
Then you get to the offseason. oh, this talent. Say, we can add better players. Then everybody goes and pays your talent. And then you add older, more fragile players. And to a thin roster. And while I did encourage the Dolphins to begin to shop on a budget, shop with coupon, stop letting Mike Tannenbaum go to Neiman Marcus and ball till till Daddy's credit card is maxed out. Stop, because the Dolphins have spent more than any other organization in football for the last 7 years. Stop. But let's not pretend you improved.
I don't see it. I mean, I don't see anything that's where they might be better. Maybe Abdul Kudus.
A defensive end, but then you have to add depth. But they will have Chris Clemens or Jason Jones. They will add a veteran defensive end that could play as Derek Shelby. I'm okay at defensive end, but in every other position, I'm not saying that you got better. And I include Kiko Alonso because when I looked at his film, it was just okay.
And that's when he was on the field, because he was
yes.
also.
He was rarely
did you see
on the
any
field.
Film of him hurt in the.
He was rarely on the field last season, and that's what people. You didn't trade for a starter.
Right.
This guy was a backup on a bad defense.
Let's take our next video question.
What's up, O? Since we're not signing any big names at guard in free agency right now, is it looking like pretty much a lock? First round, we're going to be drafting one?
Okay, so it doesn't look like any guards are coming around through that front door anytime soon.
Don't give up hope.
Okay.
I have not given up hope. I call it the Dolphins' IBS, irritable bowel syndromes. I call it inconsistent blocking systems.
Okay.
And hopefully they can look at Evan Mathis, Louis Vasquez, Jari Evans, George Schwartz, Zane Beatles. I just need the Dolphins to sign a veteran starting offensive guard just to ease my concern, ease that pocket for Ryan Tannehill. Just because here's the problem that we've had, and we've been on this road here since 2010, which is the last year they had a good offensive line. We're now in 2006. Guard has consistently been the issue. They've only had one good one. When it was Richie Incognito, they had John Jerry on this side. When it was, now I think Billy Turner's pretty good. I'm good. I'm good with that investment. But Dallas Thomas, man, oh man.
Hey, for all other than 5 plays.
For all other than 5 plays.
He's just going to come off the field for those 5 plays that he makes disastrous.
And I don't trust Jameel Douglas based on what I saw last year. And the problem I have with the whole guard situation is every year they say, oh, we'll address it in the draft. Oh, we'll address it in the draft. You've drafted 3 straight guards, and they're not good enough.
Not good, right.
Do better.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. And we are going to talk a little bit about the draft. And there are lots of options because there's lots of needs still remaining, no matter what happens here.
Lots of needs. I think they need to address the inside linebacker position again still.
All right.
I hope they had Sean Spence on a visit. Hopefully that deal gets done. Sean Spence is a very good, instinctive inside linebacker. A little small, but he's a very good player. Cornerback, they got to add 2. And then you're probably looking at defensive line. They need some defensive tackle help. They need some defensive end help. And then offensive guard.
I think good teams, they don't draft really based on need.
They draft BPA early.
They draft
without
best, that's
player
what you do.
available. BPA stands for best player available.
If you look at the last 3 years, last year the Dolphins didn't really need a wide receiver. But there was a stud wide receiver there.
Absolutely.
They took him, and it looks like he's going to pan out.
Mm-hmm.
The year before, they needed an offensive lineman, and they reached
on Juwan
and
Jacobs.
he looks like he's going to be okay.
Yeah.
A starter maybe. The year before that, okay, they went up and they took Deion Jordan. That.
I said it was
what?
a position of need, but
okay, but look at where they are now.
They had Olivier Vernon, and they didn't believe in him.
Well, yeah, that's what I said. Look where the Dolphins are now. If Deion Jordan had worked out, he'd be the perfect guy.
You never know if
for
he
you to
isn't
need.
going to work out because he can still come back. Deion Jordan will be hopefully unsuspended in May, and you'll see. I think he's more of a linebacker, a weak side linebacker, than he is a defensive end pass rusher. You can't bet on him coming back and being good and being in shape. because of his issues, but I think he's not a waste of a player. But
The
I
point
agree
is,
with you.
when you reach for need, you wind up just getting okay players. You draft the best guys on your board. You trust your scouting.
No.
That's what you have to do, right?
Here's my number one problem with the Miami Dolphins. The number one problem is poor talent evaluation. And if you look at it from free agency, if you look at it from players on your own roster, if you look at it from putting together your 53-man roster, if you look at it from the draft, poor.
Yeah.
Poor. If you consistently get a D in all areas of player evaluation, you're probably a D team.
Yeah. Well, if you can't realize what a good player is, how can you bring in good players?
If you cannot look and identify, and they have had some hits where Jarvis Landry is a hit. Jawan James isn't a miss, but he's okay.
Right.
Billy Turner, I think he has the potential to be a hit. But you're talking about 5 years of just all right drafts. You have all right drafts, you're going to have an all right team.
And let's be honest, and that's why the Dolphins have put in more money in free agency in the last 7 years, is because they don't have the players
They
through
do
the
not
draft.
draft. Absolutely.
Okay, well, let's take a look at our next video question.
Hey guys, with the Brandon Whedon talks about him being a second-string quarterback, I recall us talking to Nick Foles. Tannehill needs competition, clearly. What about him?
Okay. Quarterback? We want to talk about quarterback in this? Okay, let's do it. What do you think about Brandon Whedon as a backup? And should they go for someone bigger to really try to challenge Tannehill? Someone better than Whedon?
Here's the thing. If you want a clipboard holder, Brandon Whedon will be fine. Matt Moore will be fine. You can throw me even Nick Foles. I'm not a Nick Foles fan. Nick Foles will never. One, Nick Foles is making good money, and I definitely don't want to put that cap into Nick Foles. So you let the Rams keep him. Yeah. Let's not do any more bad trades. We've already got one on the table. In terms of, if you want to, here's the problem that you're going to have moving forward. Everybody knows Ryan Tannehill's okay. Everybody knows it's not a secret now that the team doesn't really believe in him.
Right.
It's not a secret.
Yeah, new players.
Management can pretend as much as they'd like, but it's not a secret.
Right.
Adam Gase was hired to create the same kind of transformation that you saw in Jay Cutler last year, this year with Ryan Tannehill. Need to execute better, need to develop pocket presence. Players need to believe, need to see him establish himself as a leader, need to see him make game-winning plays. Will we see that? Nobody knows. I cannot say yes or no. The talent is there. Will he bring it out? Let's just say Adam Gase does bring it out. What is the upside? How good can this team be? Nobody knows. Mm-hmm. But at a certain point, you're going to get to the point where you're going to realize, after 4 years, Ryan Tannehill's never led a winning team. Probably going to be a fifth season now where Ryan Tannehill's never led a winning record. Where's the competition for him? Where's the guy who can potentially replace him? And that's why I say you need to draft a quarterback. And I'm not just talking about draft a quarterback in the second day or in the third or in the fourth round. I'm talking serious consideration for the number one pick at 13, a Paxton Lynch, a Carson Wentz, because if you don't have a good quarterback, you don't have a chance in today's NFL. And you need to address that position with a young player that you can develop at the same rate that you develop Ryan Tannehill. Maybe if you slow roasted this young guy, he can come in and eventually replace Ryan Tannehill in 2017 or 2018. When you're looking at Ryan Tannehill's play and you're saying, it's not worth $18 million.
Yeah.
But there are some young, talented arms, Connor Cook, Dak Prescott, who just got arrested DUI, Cardell Jones, ton of arm, but not that bright up here. Find one that you like. Find one that you love. Draft him, add him to your team. Let Adam Gase handpick his own quarterback and have a chance to develop not just Ryan Tannehill, who can develop and blossom like Drew Brees did, but also, remember when Drew Brees, they added Phillip Rivers, all of a sudden Drew Brees was like, man, I got to get my act together. But develop one so that you have some sort of option, a plan B.
We've been saying that for months.
Yeah. But
do you really think that this Dolphins team is going to take a quarterback at 13?
Yes.
Really?
Not at 13. I think they're going to take a quarterback early.
Okay.
And they should take a quarterback early. Okay. If nobody believes in your quarterback, why are you continue to double down?
Right.
Who believes in Ryan Tannehill?
Well, I agree. I think they do. I think, I think the management.
Publicly, because you can't sell tickets by saying he's just okay.
Yeah, they opened their wallets for him. That was
a dumb move. But anyway, go ahead.
Let's. All right, we've talked about what we think the Dolphins are sort of going to do in the first round. Let's move ahead to Michael's Twitter question. Out of all of our new additions, who do you think will have the best season next year?
I'm going to go with Byron Maxwell because I think Mario Williams is going to have a redemption year in terms of what he's going to show people. He's certainly good against the run. He has one-on-one abilities to beat a left tackle, and I think that's where he's going to be lining up because Cameron Wake primarily goes against the right tackle. But the Dolphins are going to ask Byron Maxwell to do just what he's comfortable with, which is exactly what he did in Seattle. He's going to be the guy who's going to be the right cornerback only. He's going to be in the scheme that fits him. And yes, you're not going to have Richard Sherman on the other side, but just let him do what he's comfortable with. Don't have him shadow. Just let him be over on his side, do his thing. And I think he can have a respectable season, 62 tackles, 3, maybe 4 interceptions if he gets lucky.
We've gone basically the whole show. We're just about running out of time. We're going to take more of your questions here after an overtime.
We got another. Oh, no, we don't have
a final word, because we haven't really talked that much about Grimes.
Okay.
Top 50 player in Dolphins history. That's what
I thought it was top 100. But anyway,
he was on the 50 list.
All right, cool.
How do you feel about the way the Brent Grimes era ended in Miami?
It ended the way that he wanted it to end. Brent Grimes didn't want to play for the Miami Dolphins anymore, and he didn't feel comfortable, confident in where the organization was going. He didn't feel comfortable with the management and the leadership. He's not alone. There are a lot of people in that organization playing for that team that do not believe. He did not feel comfortable with the quarterback. So they wanted to be out of Miami, and they are out of Miami. I think you're going to continue to see a lot of players, as long as things stay the way that they are. I don't think you're going to see a lot of players who are going to be like, oh man, we got to get down there. This is where we need to be. If they don't like the location, or they don't like the environment, or they don't fall in love with Steve Ross, or it's they need to put production on the field. They need to put wins on the field. They need to put a respectable defense on the field. They need to put an offense that can score more than 20 points on the field. Otherwise, it's going to be impossible to sell this team.
Well, we appreciate you guys for watching and being fans of this team. Thanks for
my apologies.
Watching the show, and of course reading Omar right here on SunSentinel.com. We will have more of these X's and Omars in the off season. I can't promise you when. We'll do a draft one.
Pre-draft, and we'll do a post-draft one.
Pre and post-draft. So stay tuned to the SunSentinel.com. For Omar, I'm Matt.
We said we were doing extra overtime.
We are doing extra overtime. So hang tight, send us your questions, and we'll answer them right after this. Okay. Can you load up that laptop?
Are we still going?
We're up.
All right. Loading up the laptop. Why am I so shocked? From Matt Lagrone. Lagrone, see, you're the pro at reading this thing.
Yeah.
Why am I so shocked by Miami's fiscal responsibility? Well, it's because Steve Ross has finally realized that you're not going to produce a winning team with a credit card. You're not going to buy one. That's not the way to build a winner. They spent big last offseason. Thought that was going to be the finishing pieces. The team got worse. And when you spend big, you got to cut corners in other areas. And that's a problem that this Dolphins team, we talked about depth at the beginning of the season last year. And what did we say? We said the depth was going to be this team's undoing. One of the key things I've always learned in football, and probably even in life, in business, you are only as good as your weakest link. And the weakest link on this team was offensive line and poor depth. When you started to get injuries at linebacker, when you started to get injuries at safety, when cornerbacks started to get hurt, you had nowhere to turn to.
Leadership, I would also. say was a weakness.
Yes, leadership is without a doubt one of the bigger issues as well.
One thing that I would like to challenge you from the show, personally, is that I agree with you that I think a year ago, if the Dolphins had offered Lamar Miller that deal, he would have taken it.
Mm-hmm.
You don't think OV would have waited for the money?
No. Yes, I do.
Okay.
Because I, as everybody knows, I'm friends with David Cantor, and I'm not even afraid to go publicly and say this. I told David Cantor, "You're crazy if you think that OV is going to get $40 million deal," and he's like, "I'll get 40 guaranteed," and I was like, "You are insane," and he's like, "You don't know the market," and he knew the market.
Yeah.
And he projected the market accurately. And that is his job because he's got a lot of money on the line. And I was completely off. And he was right. So maybe they'd have to, maybe a $50 million deal with, I don't even know, 28 guaranteed.
Right.
OV might have took it instead of risking injuries. Because nobody ever likes to play in their final year of the contract, because you could tear an ACL and be out there on the street, get nothing.
Yeah.
So if you that's really a question for OV. And also, question is, how much did he really want to stay? And I'm not necessarily sure OV was one of those players who really wanted to stay. Just to be honest.
Yeah, no, you're right. All right, let's take some of your questions right here. Just send them to us now.
And let me say this. While players might say things publicly because they never want to shut the door, trust me, privately, it's a different tune.
Slick6971, is No Sean Moreno available?
No Sean. In fact, I saw him on American Social 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
No Sean looked fit. The question is, could he stay healthy? And could he? I'm sure he's looking to get back into football, considering how fit he looked.
Yeah.
I think that could work for Miami. If you add No Sean Moreno to a minimum contract and just bring him to camp, why not make him a camp body?
You think Ajayi is ready to? No. Okay, that's enough.
No offense to Jay Ajayi. No offense to Jay Ajayi, and he could totally shut me up and make me completely wrong. But that kid needs some serious coaching from the standpoint he wants to bounce everything outside. And that might work for a minute in the NFL, like it worked early. Then when they get film on it, you give him this look, he's going to bounce it outside. And then all of a sudden, everybody's outside waiting on you.
Yeah.
You got to learn how to play in the NFL, and Jay Ajayi's not there yet.
We had some questions about running back while we're here. Joe, if we do not get Anderson, or I'm going with, I think he means Ezekiel Elliott in the first round, who could be available in rounds 2 or 3 that could be better than Ajayi?
Fred Taylor's son. There's a cat from Louisiana Tech.
Yeah, he's good.
I haven't
Dixon.
looked. I haven't looked. Yes, I haven't looked at any film of any of the running backs. But there's the kid from Arkansas, not Alabama, Arkansas. That's a Miami kid. I'm sorry. That's the reason why backs aren't getting paid, even though Lamar Miller got paid. They're an expendable position.
Kind of, though. I mean, who's a better football player, Lamar Miller or Olivier Vernon?
Better NFL player?
No, I just mean who's a better football player. It's close, right? I mean, they're both very good.
Yeah, it's very close.
Yeah.
They're both players trending up.
They're both players trending up. They're like close to maybe top 10, at their position in the league.
I don't know about that.
You don't think so? You don't think Lamar Miller is close to being a top 10 running back?
Yes, I don't think. Damn, I would hate to say that. OV top 10.
Close-ish. In
the neighborhood.
And it's like
I could probably name
not even close the amount of money they're getting to each other.
Yeah, but that's
mamas raise your boys to be defensive ends.
Do not, if you have a child that is a running back in high school, you better make him go be a cornerback.
Yeah.
Because that's where the money's at. Look what cornerbacks are being paid, and then look what running backs are being paid. Then come back to me.
Brent asks, is there any way OV lives up to that contract?
There's no way Ndamukong Suh lives up to his contract. So there's no way. Who else is a big free agent that got big money? It's not fair to ask that question, because when you get to the market and you get the contract that the market bears, you're probably not going to live up to it. Now, is OV going to live up to what he's being paid over a 4-year period, which is over a 3-year period, which is $40 million? Is OV going to be living up to that? Probably not. but that's just because it's a little bit high. And that's why you see once the guaranteed money's up, every team's like, hey, Mike Wallace, we need to revisit this situation.
Right.
Brent Grimes was just a Pro Bowler, and the team came back to him and said, hey, Brent Grimes, I know you signed a 4-year, $32 million contract. That was a fair deal on the market at the time. But we need you to revisit that because we don't want to pay you the rest that we owe you. It is the NFL shakedown. And it's so sad and so predictable. I can go to every single roster, look at the contracts, and tell you verbatim, with probably a 96% success ratio, who's going to be shaken down. Because they have an average in mind per position. They have an average in mind about how much the average NFL starter should be paid. And if you're making a substantial difference more, it's time to shake you down. And fans are all on board, and they tolerate it, and they love it, and they're like, how dare Brent Grimes not give us money back?
Right.
Like, what is he thinking that he's worth $8.5 million?
That's what you said you were going to give me.
It's kind of what you agreed to pay me.
Right.
Like, see, while I got this moment here, the Cameron Wake situation.
Yeah.
I think it's despicable that the Dolphins went to Cameron Wake and said, Cameron, you've been a model player, a model citizen, the epitome of what we want in our NFL players. We put you up on billboards. But you know what, Cameron? You're not worth the $8.4 million, only because you're injured and old. We would like you to give us some money back. On the final year of your deal, that was a team-friendly deal when you signed it 5 years ago.
Doesn't make sense. Well, it makes a lot of sense, but it's not fair.
How is that? No, when you signed it a couple years ago, not 5, I think it was 4. Like, how is that fair?
Yeah.
Like, NFL, these players need to wisen up and realize that they need to, if the only money that's guaranteed, only money that counts as guaranteed money, all you should be getting is guaranteed money. And all it takes is one cycle of free agents to say, because the NBA doesn't have anything in their contracts that says we must give you guaranteed money. It's just nobody in the NBA is accepting any kind of contract that is not guaranteed.
Right.
Like, how do you, if the money is going to be dispersed, and $155 million has to be dispersed by every team this year, how are you not fighting for the guaranteed money? Like,
yeah, no, it doesn't. Still though, when you just talk about the guaranteed money, it's still a lot of money.
Yeah, you might have to make less as a quarterback. You might have to make $12 million instead of this fake $18 million contract you got in 2017, but it's fully guaranteed.
Yeah. We've got a lot of people asking about Miko.
Oh God.
So here's the thing.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Would you say that some of our compadres in the media have made too much of a deal of how much Miko played a part in Brent either staying or leaving town?
Absolutely, because the Dolphins asked for the right to match any offer. Like, you're lying to your fans. The Dolphins held on him for 3 days trying to get him to agree to come back. Then asked for the right to match any contract, and Brent was like, no.
Yeah.
So anybody telling you that Miko is the reason that Brent's not a Dolphin, Miko is the reason Brent got cut, because Miko was loud, and when this is what people don't understand about Brent and Miko, and this is. Hopefully this doesn't get cut up, because I don't want this shared with anybody who's not listening right now. Brent does have a quiet personality, but Brent is not quiet.
Right.
Brent is not quiet. He has opinions. You know this. Mm-hmm. He's not afraid to share his opinions, but Brent just doesn't care enough. Now, Miko, Brent doesn't care that people don't believe in him or think he's washed or think that he's struggled. He doesn't care. Now, Miko, you better watch what you say about Brent Grimes, because if it's not accurate, somebody's coming for you.
Right.
And when Miko did what she did, that's basically Brent letting her off the leash all the time. she'll come to them. She's like, "This is what they saying about you. This is what they saying about you. You see what this is? You see what this is?" And then Brandon will be like, "All right, go get him." And she'll be like, and it'll take a while for her to get that release. But when she gets that release, you look out.
Yeah.
And Brett didn't want to be here. Miko made sure that happened. It is what it is. That she's also his business manager.
Marriage is it's a
Hey,
partnership.
listen. As everybody knows, Miko's my friend. I did a show with her. We're close. I do not support everything that she does. I do not support all her antics. But as I always consistently say, and what I've learned with her is she's usually right. And the antics might be wrong, but
the way she gets there.
The way she gets there is wrong. But she's usually right. And unfortunately, when you're as right as she has been so much, you just whatever. And nobody pays attention to what the message.
Right.
They just see the antics.
How it's delivered.
They see how it's delivered, and they're like, "Oh, she's a horrible human being." But you know what? She's not a horrible human being. She only defends her husband, and she's usually right.
Yeah, well, she's talked a lot about what you have just talked about with the guaranteed contracts, and she.
Yeah. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, let's close the book on free agency, shall we? Actually,
Hopefully
there's still
close
some
the book
time.
on Miko.
All
But-
right. Well, that book has been closed.
Please.
For,
No, it
Tampa,
hasn't.
Until Tampa comes to Miami.
No, it hasn't. But yeah.
Okay. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll take your questions on using hashtag XOMAR for until we are doing a show again.
Yes.
We'll let you know when that happens. Thanks for watching.